Welcome to Foundational Foot Flow. This was made for a wonderful woman who has some plantar fasciitis and some patellofemoral syndrome going on. So knee pain and tight constriction around the feet. She's also a runner. So we're going to be working a lot of glute stability, some quads. We're going to work internal and external rotation of the hips to counter the forward and back motion of running. And we're going to open up through the feet up into the ankles and calves. But really, as you know, if you've practiced with me before or you've done this LYT method, we're really working the whole body, core stability, mobility at our joints, strength everywhere. So let's get to it. If you have a block, do have that handy. If you have a therapy ball, a yoga tune-up therapy ball is ideal, but if you have a tennis ball or one of those little blue racket balls or something like that, you can start by rolling your foot out. If you don't have something to roll it on, you could also just use your thumbs and give the arches of your feet a little love. But just familiarizing yourself with the arch of your foot as the ball goes up and down, and then maybe stopping where it joins at the heel for a moment. Maybe getting the toes involved. So this isn't a rollout class, so I won't do too much of this, but I just want to bring some alertness and some life to your feet, let them know that we're going to be working with them here. And the fascia that goes from the bottom of the feet, it comes up, my teacher Laura calls them like footy pajamas, like it comes up all the way up the back of your skull. So when we open up the bottoms of the feet, we're actually having this impact all the way up to the top of our head, which is so cool. It's all connected. We can't ever leave one thing on its own. And then coming down, having a seat, setting the ball aside, and then lowering onto your back, taking the block or paper towels, pillow, whatever you have at home, and bringing it between your thighs. Squeezing the inner thighs is going to wake up the fascial connection up into the pelvis, into the abdominals. So we've already got that turned on with that grip of the thighs. Lift your toes. Feel that you have a tripod in your feet. You have the big ball, pinky ball, and heel. Triangle, strongest shape in geometry. Triangle at our base to make us nice and foundationally strong. So feel that tripod, spread your toes, plant them back down, and then press into the feet equally to lift the hips. Hands can be on the legs. Push the legs away, straighten your arms, create some space in your hip joints. Poke your butt. Make sure your butt is on and working for you. Keep squeezing the block and then bring the hands back onto the thighs and manually push them away. Breathe. Notice if your ribs are really wanting to pop up to the ceiling. Can you consolidate, saran wrap everything around the ribs, everything around your core in to support that whole tube of your core? Good, and then we're just going to lift and lower the heels. So press into the big toe mounds to lift and lower. Notice if your weight really wants to press into the pinky balls more. So even that distribution between those ball mounds of your feet. Lift and lower. Keep reaching the tailbone towards the top of the mat so this doesn't go into your low back at all. Keep your glutes active. We're waking up the glutes. They're the biggest stabilizers of our body. We want them to know that they need to be alive, awake, alert. Take your arms right up from your shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades rooting down into the floor. Your arms are straight. Take your left hand over to your right four fingers and pull them down to your face. Keep that right thumb reaching over towards the left. Keep the low belly hugging in. Keep lifting and lowering on your heels. Keep squeezing the block, squeezing your glutes. And breathing. Taking breaths out your mouth anytime that feels right. Exhales. Keep lifting and lowering and then switch. Stretch out the left wrist. Pull those left fingers down to your face. feel the energy starting to wake up in the backs of your legs, the calves, the bum. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Arms come down. Heels come down. Reach the tailbone more. Take another breath in. And then exhale, consolidate your core to lower down with control. Feel that heat going from a boil, maybe to a simmer in your bum. And then we're going to move it up the chain into the core more. So keeping the block between your thighs. The first option is to keep the feet down. That's always an option when we do our core work. If you can, bring your legs up. You have the block between your thighs no matter if your feet are down or up. Your knees can be soft. I want the weight of your legs weighting down your sacrum, that flat bone above the butt flesh and beneath the low back. So the legs aren't forward of your hips, they're weighting down that sacrum bone. Bring the hands behind your head, let the elbows hug in. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lift off the shoulder blades. Feel everything pulling into your belly. And then bring your right hand onto the ribs where the left and right rib cage meet and push down. Get higher off the left shoulder blade. Hand comes behind the head. Inhale and lower. Keep squeezing the block. Exhale and lift. Spread through your toes. Look at your toes. We want to open up the fascia on the tops of the feet too. And then left hand comes to the low ribs. Press down. Get a little higher off the right shoulder blade. Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift. Squeezing the block. Take your right hand and reach your right fingers up towards your right ankle. Reach a little higher, get off your right shoulder blade. Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Keep spreading through your toes. Exhale and lift. Left arm reaches, reach a little higher. Feel the pit of your belly pulling in, front ribs down. Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Exhale, low ribs pull in, everything contracts and saran wraps around your core. Your right hand reaches. Reach higher and then take it over to the left ankle. Reaching towards the left ankle. Squeeze the block. Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Keep spreading through your toes. Exhale and lift. Left arm reaches, squeeze the block, reach up higher, and then take it over towards your right ankle. Pull the front ribs of the belly down. Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift. Right arm reaches, left arm reaches. Lift up a little higher, squeeze the block. Hand behind the head, inhale and lower. Last one, exhale and lift. Pull everything in. Everything's pulling in around the ribs. Reach both arms up. Get up higher. And release. Set the block off to the side. Let your feet come down. Let your knees knock in. Bring your hands onto your hips. Let your breath settle a bit here. Feel the expansion of your ribs as you breathe in nice and big. Open your mouth. Do it again. Good. And then feet are mats with distance. Hands can stay on your hips. Let both knees fall to the right. As they fall to the right, squeeze your left glute. Feel it wrapping down towards the back of your left knee. Press the inside of your left foot into the floor, opening up the front of the left hip. Inhale, come up through center. Knees over to the left, push down to the inner edge of your right foot, wrap your right glute down towards the back of your right knee, spread through the right front hip, and release. Connecting real quick to your triple S, feel your sacrum. So again, that big flat bone above your butt flesh coming from the pit of the belly straight back. That's where that bone lives. The shoulder blades and the skull, they're all on the same plane. This is giving you a neutral spine, setting you up for a nice neutral pelvis. So keeping that in mind as we flow through bigger ways, you can rock and roll or push yourself up to the side to come onto hands and knees. Remembering that a lot of the things we do here have layers. So you don't always have to take all of the options for layers. You can work with what you're working with, which is just fine. So hands come underneath the shoulders. The knees are underneath the hips. Feel that the shoulder blades are locked onto the back ribs, so they're not sinking towards each other and they're not fully pushing away, but they're in that nice neutral position. Your arms are strong and straight. You have hands like they could be on paper plates and you could just spin them out from each other. You want to dial your hands out so the biceps wrap forward, triceps wrap back. Feel this integration behind the shoulders here, underneath the armpits, and keep that belly lifted. Head in line with the spine, right toes back, chug, forward and back on your toes. You can keep your gaze under your nose, keep the belly lifting up, or you can look and check out the tracking of your ankle. See if it has the propensity to roll in or out as you chuck forward and back. You want to keep it centered over the foot, so squeeze your right glute more, keeping that stable, opening up the bottom of the foot into the calf. Good. And then right knee underneath you, lower down onto your forearms. You're on your forearms. The shoulders are right underneath, or the elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Knees come together. Keep the low ribs in the belly pulling up, and just the right knee comes out to the side and back in. So you should feel how much you have to keep your core contracting and supporting to make this move. Left knee out to the left. Stay, hi Junie, stay just in your hips. Out to the right and out to the left. Keeping the belly lifted, right knee out to the right. Left knee out to the left. This is working our glute med. Our glute medius is the outer hip muscle, stabilizes the hip. Obviously, it also externally rotates the hip. So we want to bring some aliveness there so it can keep working for us and keeping the weight out of our knees. One more time on the left side. Should feel your shoulders lighting up a bit, and then back onto hands. Getting those shoulder blades in place, head in line with the spine, left toes back, right knee underneath you, and chug. Forward and back, pushing off those left toes. Looking back at your ankle, checking out it's tracking right over your foot. Pressing down into the whole palm. Even the roots of those index fingers are pressing down. Good, and then left knee underneath you. Tuck your toes, lift your knees to hover off the floor. Feel the weight in your hands. Don't let the weight in your hands change as you lift the hips up. Puffing up through between the shoulder blades just a bit, so not sinking in the shoulders, but keeping the arm bone, the connection of the top of the arm bone into the shoulder, keeping that, feeling that. Keeping the low ribs and the belly lifting up. You can have a bend in your knees, relax your head, take some breaths. Exhale, and then walk your hands back to your feet. Get familiar with your hip hinge. So this is where we want to bend from, is right here at the hips. Inhale, press into the feet, lift yourself up, keeping the spine long. Exhale, arms down towards your sides. Breathe here. Notice the shift in energy from before your practice to now, just with the move you've done so far. And then walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, sit back. So again, we're hinging at the hip crease. We're going to put a bend in our knees and our hips so that we can hinge right from here. Bring our long spine down over our thighs. Bring the hands down. Step the left foot back. Drop the left knee and untuck the toes. Inhale and come up. Squeeze your left glute and reach your arms up. Long through your side seams, pulling the belly back towards the low back. Breath in. Exhale, hands come down. Step yourself back. You can do high plank or kneeling. Imaginary block between your thighs, so all of that stability around your pelvis. Dialing the hands out, head in line with the spine, belly pulling in. Bend your elbows. Slowly come down. Pull the hands back energetically. Press your pubic bone down to keep space in your low back. And then downward facing dog. Hoist from the pit of the belly. Weight in the hands doesn't change. Take an inhale. Exhale. The same step, foot that stepped forward will step forward again. Stepped back will step forward. So left foot forward, right knee down. Untuck your right toes, reach up. Long side seams, squeezing your right glute. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot, step your back foot in. Your next inhale lifts you up. And exhale, hinging back into the hips, long spine, draping over your thighs. This time the right foot steps back, lower the right knee, but don't untuck the toes. Keep them tucked if you can, lift yourself up. So again, opening into the fascia of the back foot, pushing from those toes, energetically pulling the front heel back. Waffle iron the low back and the low belly. And then this time, lift your arms up. We're gonna take the left arm back. Little rotation around the ribs. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Hands come down to frame the front foot. Step yourself back, high plank or kneeling plank. Get your alignment in check. Lower down with control. Inhale, pull the hands back, shoulder blades on your back ribs. Press the pubic bone down. Exhale, down dog. Right foot steps forward. Left knee comes down, keep the left toes tucked, lift yourself up. Inhale, reach up. This time the right arm, back and forward. Inhale, exhale, inhale. One more. Inhale, reach up. Hands come down, step the back foot forward. Sit back into your hips, reach forward and up, keep your spine long. Hands come down for your heart. Rest your hands on your heart, close your eyes. Take a moment here to connect to the heartbeats under your palms. Good. And then open your eyes, let your hands just rest down at your sides. We're gonna come to a right leg crescent lunge. So you can keep your right foot forward and step your left foot back. So you'll have a little bit of a bend in your left knee to prevent your pelvis from tipping forward. We want to keep the tailbone rooting down. So the hip points are in line with each other. Bring your hands in front of your heart, sternum lifts towards your thumbs. Take an inhale, squeezing your left glute. Exhale, twist a little bit to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale a little to the right. Two more. Good, and this time you'll hold it here in your twist, and your left elbow will come on top of your right thigh. Now, if things really have to change in your pelvis for that to happen, of course you'll be leaning forward, but if things feel wonky, you can stay lifted. Otherwise, bring your left elbow to your left or your right thigh, press into both of your hands to rotate a little more. Your gaze can be right down underneath your nose. Breathing here, staying active and squeezing into your left glute. Bend the back knee, curtsy. So we're gonna bring this left knee behind the right. Those left toes are gonna step wider than your right foot. Pressing into the bottom hand a little bit more. You can turn your gaze or keep it underneath you. And then you're gonna press into your right foot, your front foot, and stand up. Left foot steps to next to the right. And we're gonna do that on the other side. So the right knee comes behind the left, and that right foot steps a little wider off the mat. And then you sit back into your left hip. So that's where the bend comes. Your right elbow comes onto your left thigh, or you could also stay higher. If the elbow's on the thigh, press the top hand into the bottom, get a little more revolution around your spine. And then stand up. One more time to this side, so the left knee behind the right, left elbow onto the thigh. Breathing here. Good, and then into a half moon.
right hand comes onto a block or onto the floor. The left leg extends back. You can keep your left hand on your right thigh. You could also bring the left peace fingers to push the knuckle of the big toe ball mound down. So you feel an even spread through your foot. You're not drifting over to the pinky edge side of your foot. You can keep a bend in your right knee so that energy travels up into the leg. Good, and then rotate your hip, your left toes down to face the floor. Bend your right knee, bring your hands onto the floor, left toes touch down behind you, right leg sweeps back and up for a three-legged down dog. Right hip point, frontal hip point, and left frontal hip point are in line, so you're not hiking this right hip up higher. Look at your left toes. Lift and lower a little bit on those toes. You can keep a bend in your left knee. Keep lifting the belly and the front ribs. Keep the arms strong and straight. Let that foot open and work for you, pushing from the left toe big ball mound. Good, and then step your right foot forward, followed by your left. Sit back into your bum. Inhale, forward and up, stand up. Exhale, hands come down through your heart. Hands press on top of the heart, close your eyes. A moment of gratitude for the beats beneath your palms. And then hands come onto your hips. This time we'll step the right foot back for a crescent lunge. So hip points are in line. The pubic bone is also on the same plane as the hip points. Tailbone goes down, back knees bent. Hands come in front of the heart. Take an inhale to lift the sternum towards the thumbs. And then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale. Exhale, turn. It's a small turn. Inhale. Just around the ribs. Last one, inhale. Keep your right glute on, lean. Right elbow on, left thigh. Again, you can also stay high. Press the top hand into the bottom hand. Ignite your right glute. Look down at the floor. Step your back foot behind. So right knee behind your left knee. The back foot comes out to the side for your little curtsy squat here. Press into your left foot, stand up. Exhale into the other side, so left knee behind right. And stand up. And then one more time into this left leg. Coming into our half moon, look down at the floor, bring your left hand onto a block or onto the floor. Right leg lifts. Apologies for my doggies. So you can keep the low belly plugging back to the low back. The right peace fingers press down into the big ball mound of the foot. Let the head be in line with the spine. Keep life in the lifted leg. Good. Slowly let the right hip come in line with the left. Touch the right toes down. Hands plant, left leg back and up. Three-legged down dog. You can always shorten your down dog a little bit if you need. Keep that connection of arm bones up into shoulders and then lift and lower on your right toes. Waking up the fascia of the foot. Mobilizing the whole structure. Good, and the left foot steps forward followed by the right. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Arms rest at your sides. Take a couple shoulder rolls, just one at a time, moving from the shoulder blade, so it's not just here, it's the whole shoulder complex that's rolling one at a time. Good. And then settle the shoulders down, inhale. Exhale, hinge. Hands come down. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Hoisting from the pit of the belly, lifting the front ribs up towards the back ribs. Right leg lifts back and up for a three-legged down dog. And then bend the knee and open the right hip out to the right, or open the right knee, I should say, out to the right. Because just like we did in our Quadruped on forearms at the beginning, we don't want the right hip point to change. It's just the thigh moving out to the right. And then you're going to bring this right knee underneath you, underneath the right hip. Left foot slides back a little bit. So you're on your right hand and your right knee. The right hand is wider of the knee. Left arm reaches up for gate pose. Now you can keep your left foot on the floor, or you can lift it up. Siphoning your sit bones in towards one another, pulling the low belly back, supporting all around the pelvis here. Both glutes super active. And then left hand down, right foot back. Take your right big toe and second toe around the heel of your left foot, like where you would put a flip-flop strand. And then chug forward and back. Keeping everything around your core, around your pelvis, hugging in. Keeping your arms strong and straight, head in line with the spine. And then right knee down underneath you again. Modified side plank. Left hand down, roll on your left toes, back into your three-legged down dog with your right hip and external rotation. We're going to do that one more time. So right knee comes underneath you, back into gate pose or modified side plank. Left hand down, left toes down, 1 foot plank. So you take the right big toe and second toe around the heel and chug forward and back. Keep your arms super straight, shoulder blades on the back ribs. Trying to dial the hands out even here. Right knee underneath you, either gate pose or modified side plank. Everything has to work here. Left hand comes down, right knee opens back out to the right. Three-legged down dog. Good. And then right foot steps down. Take a breath here. Good. And then lift your left leg back and up. Bend the knee. Left knee out to the left. External rotation. Holding it here for a moment. Feeling that outer left glute active, and then shifting forward, bringing the left knee underneath your left hip, left hand stays under the left shoulder, right foot steps back and points out to the right, reach your right arm up. You can stay right here or turn everything on. Everything's holding in, sit bones hugged together, right hand down, back into, right hand down, plank. So take your left big toe and second toe around the heel of your right foot and chug forward and back, forward and back. Keep the belly on, keep squeezing the inner thighs and the glutes, and then left knee down again, back into your modified side plank or your gate pose. And then three-legged down dog, left knee up and out to the left. We'll do that one more time. Left knee comes underneath into gate or modified side plank, holding. Right hand down, 1 foot plank with your left flip-flop. Chugging forward and back. One more time into your modified side plank to come back into our downward facing dog. Good, and then left foot steps down. Walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, reach forward and up, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands come down through your heart. Arms down to your sides. Shoulder roll as you stroll back to the top of your mat. Good. We'll do a Surya Namaskar B with some variation. So inhale, chair pose, reach your arms up, sitting back into your hips. So look at your knees. Your knees don't go too far forward at all. You have equal weight spread through your feet. It is leaning a little bit more towards your heels, but you're still pushing down through the big ball mounds. Knees don't go too far forward. It's all about the hips going back. So even though your pelvis is tilting, it's tilting on the same level with the spine. And then the arms can reach up, keeping the front ribs hugging back. Feeling like there's a block here, you can squeeze and everything hugs in. And then exhale, hands come down. Step yourself back, high or kneeling plank. Dial your hands out, head in line with the spine, lower yourself down with control. Your back bend of choice, it might be a baby cobra or a fuller cobra, but mind your low back, so keep an energetic lift of your low belly. And then downward facing dog. Lift your right leg back and up, look at your left toes. You have an option to push off your left toes and try and siphon that thigh in. Your right leg doesn't do anything. You're kicking with your bottom leg, and then you bring your right foot forward, left heel comes down, warrior one. Inhale, reach. So again, pelvic points are on the same plane. You're not tipping forward. If that doesn't happen for your body in warrior one, just lift your heel. Reaching up long through the sides. Inhale. And then exhale, come down. We're gonna add a runner's lunge here. So spin onto the back toes. Grab a block if you have one. Bend your back knee deeply, and then lift your front toes. So both knees are bent here. Bringing the block underneath your right foot to bring more stretch into the calf, the whole back line of the leg. Feeling that the hip points are still in line with one another. The spine is long and you're not rounding, so keep the connection of belly and thigh. Right hip crease pulls back, breathe. How's your head? Keep it in line with the spine. Good, and then set that block off to the side and back foot steps forward. Inhale, chair pose. Stand up. Exhale, hands down for your heart. Inhale, reach up. Back into your chair, sitting back into your hips, maintaining that long spine. Hands come down. Under the shoulders, step yourself back. High plank or kneeling plank. Shoulder blades on the back ribs, lower down with control. Inhale. And exhale. Down dog. Your left leg lifts. Look at your right toes. Nothing changes in your left leg. It's not doing the kicking. It's your bottom toes. So bending that bottom knee, keeping your arms strong and straight. Pushing off. Pushing off. And you can either switch in midair, or you can just step that left foot forward. Get your hip points in line with each other. Feel the tailbone rooting down. Both glutes are on. Reach your arms up. Inhale. And then exhale, hands come down for that runner's stretch. So come onto the ball of the back foot, bend the back knee, lift the front toes, get that block underneath the foot. Keep the spine long, so keep belly, ribs connected. Breathe. Let it out your mouth maybe. Good. And then set the block off to the side, step the back foot in. Come back into your chair, sitting into your butt. Straighten your legs, hands come down through your heart. Good. Arms down to your sides. Just stand here for a moment in stillness. Sense the energy moving through you, refreshing, renewing with your movement, your breath. All right, we'll keep it moving. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hinging into your hips, taking that long spine forward and down. Now you can either step back and take a flow, or you can go right to downward facing dog. We'll meet up and down dog. If you're taking a flow, that's the plank, chaturanga, and back bend to your down dog. Good. Once you're here, we'll lift the right leg, just hip level. Taking a moment. And then stepping it forward underneath you. So you're not trying to get it between your hands, just right underneath you. Keeping the weight in the hands, keeping the arms straight, you're shift the spine forward and lift the left leg for a standing split. So no rounding is happening here. My spine's long, my head is hopefully still in line with my spine. My right knee is as bent as I need to have it be for the weight to stay in my hands. Left toes touch down, right leg back in a three-legged dog. Do it again. Exhale, saran wrapping your core to make space to step your right foot underneath you. Weight stays in the hands, building the connection from the ground up through the body. Left toes come down, right leg back and up, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step it forward, and then this time, standing split, we're gonna stand up. So right knee is bent, you can bend it more, and then stand up on that right foot, lift your left knee. You can keep a little bend in your right knee. Hands come onto your hips. Extend your left leg forward, spread through your toes, look at those toes, spread the foot. Rebend the knee, come back into your standing split. So you've hinged at your right hip, you're bending your right knee, but the weight is transferring into your butt, not the knee. Hands come underneath your shoulders. And then do that again. Step on your right foot, weight is even through that tripod. Left knee comes up. Hands on the hips, extend the leg, hold it here, spray through the toes, look at the toes. And then rebend the right or the left knee and come on down to standing split. One more time. Press into the right foot, stand up, left knee hugs up. Now, hands on your hips, take your left foot down next to your right, but let it hover, don't let it come to the floor. Bring your hands onto your glute medius, so your outer butt, outer hips here. These muscles are stabilizing, so let your left leg go out to the left. That glute med is helping it lift. The other one is helping the right leg stay stable. So keep lifting the left leg out, lifting it out. 3 more, you can have a little bend in your right knee, your pelvis is level. And figure 4, left ankle on right thigh, hands in front of your heart. Sitting back into your hips again. Breathing here. You can stay high, or if you want to bring your hands onto blocks or onto the floor. Keeping the spine long, not rounding, breathing. Good, and then stand up, left foot down. Just shake your legs out. And then stand in stillness, hands on your heart. Close your eyes. Good. And then inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge into your hips. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Left leg back and up, hip height. As you exhale, you hinge into your left hip crease to step it underneath you and shift forward to standing split. Spine goes long, left knee stays bent, the weight in the hands stays. Right toes touch down, left leg back and up. Exhale, step it underneath you, lift your right leg, keep that weight in your arms. Right toes down, left leg back and up. And then left leg underneath you, right leg back and up. And then this time, we're gonna stand up. So push into your left foot more, keep a bend in that knee. Right knee comes up. Hands onto your pelvis. Extend your right leg, spread through the toes. Rebend the knee, come back into your standing split. The right leg goes back, hinge into your left hip, lift up through the lower ribs and belly, bend the left knee, but the weight goes back into your butt, not into the knee. Hands come down. And then do it again. Press into that left foot equally to lift the right knee. Hands onto the hips, extend the leg. Spread the toes, left glute strong. Rebend the knee, let the right foot come down next to the left foot. And then out to the right. Out to the right. Out to the right. Do it again. 3, 2, 1. Figure 4. Right ankle on your left thigh, hands in front of your heart, sit the hips back. So whenever the pelvis tilts, the spine comes with it, head stays in line. Option to bring the hands down, lower onto a block without falling. Or maybe you fall, it's okay too. Breathe. And then stand on your left foot. Take your right foot down. Shake it out. Just shake your legs. You can add some shake of your arms. Good. Now we're going to put it all together. We put it all together because it's really fun and it lets our brain deepen the pathways that we're trying to build. So bring the feet right underneath the hips, arms at your sides. Get your triple S here. Take a breath in and reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge into your hips, sit back, bring the hands down. Step your right foot back and lower your right knee. Lift yourself up and reach your arms up. This time the left arm swings back, comes forward, inhale. Exhale, keeping the right glute firm. One more. Good. Now stay open to the left and let both arms tee out. Push into the right toes to lift the right hip and knee off the floor. So keeping the right and left hip points in line, stay bent in your right knee, hands come in front of the heart. Lean, you can stay high like we did earlier, or lean the right elbow down onto the left thigh for your curtsy twist here as we bend the back knee and bring the right knee behind the left knee. You can stay right here. You have an option to add on, very challenging, but lifting the right leg back for this bent knee half moon variation, keeping the pressure of the right elbow into the left thigh, staying bent in that knee, life in all of the limbs. Good, and then bring it back into your curtsy, stand on your left foot, step your right foot next to it, inhale. Exhale to the other side, left knee behind. Remember, it steps out wider than the right foot. Left elbow on your right thigh, sit back into your right hip, pull the belly in, little twist. Option to add on, leaning a little bit more, extending your spine long, maybe lift your left leg. Keep the gaze underneath your nose, head in line with your spine. Let the toes touch back down into your curtsy, press into your right foot and stand up. Exhale to the other side. Staying down low. This time we'll take it into a half moon. So you can bring your left hand onto a block or onto fingertips. Reach your right leg back. Press your right big toe knuckle ball mound down into the floor. Feel the weight spreading through your foot evenly. Notice if your right leg really wants to be flying high. Keep it level with your pelvis. The toes point to the right. Breathe. Low belly pulls back. Adding on reverse warrior. Take your foot down. Windmill your arms up through warrior two. Settle your shoulders on top of your hips for a moment and then reverse. Breathe into the left ribs. Inhale up through center. Left forearm on left thigh. Keep space on your left side so you're not tipping the pelvis over. Right arm over your right cheek. Squeeze your right glute. Open up that right low back. Inhale, come up through center, reverse. And windmill back down. Three-legged down dog. Left leg back and up. Good. So you can look at your right toes. You can try a little pushing, lifting, pushing. Maybe you push off for a moment. And then take your left knee out to the left for a wide or an externally rotated three-legged down dog, and then bring it right underneath you. Step your right foot back for either gate,
or modified side plank. Lifting that right leg up. Right hand comes down, left toes come around your right heel, big toe and second toe. Chug, forward and back. Good, left knee comes down. Modified side plank, weight into your left hand. The left shoulder blade's locking onto your back ribs. You can use your right hand to make sure. Right leg lifts up, right arm lifts up. Take a breath in. Exhale. Right hand comes down. Back into your three-legged down dog with that externally rotated hip. Good, and then this time we're just gonna step it forward for a warrior one. Back heel comes down, reach your arms forward and up. And then into this runner's lunge. So you can grab the block again, come onto the back toes, bend the back knee, lift the front foot, shove that block under there. And then this time, you're gonna take the peace fingers of your right hand, take it inside your big toe and try and pull that big toe over more. So creating more space through the foot. We put our shoes in constriction suits called shoes, so we need to let them open up a little. And then right hand down, remove the block. And then last thing here, we're in our runner's lunge. We're gonna come forward to your standing split. Runner's lunge, walk the hands back, bend the back knee, sit the hips back, lift the front toes, and then walk the hands forward, standing split. So the spine stays long, it doesn't change. You can do this again, or you can add a little hop off those left toes. Back into your runner's lunge, shifting the weight forward into the left foot, push off the left toes. One more time. Lean into the hands, push off the left toes, and then seated twist. Right knee comes behind your left heel, turn, you're gonna sit down. So you can either be on a block, if the floor feels far, you can have your bottom leg extended, or if you have the ability for your knees to come more together and your feet to come a little wider, you can do that. Whatever you're doing here, you're gonna put your right hand down, lean into it, left arm up and over. Pull the belly back. Inhale, come up. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Inhale, come up. Turn to the right. You're just gonna unravel. Back to the front, sit into the heels, and inhale. Come all the way forward and up. Exhale. Hands come down for your heart. Good. And then we'll do the next side. Feet are right underneath our hips still. Lift and spread your toes, put them right back down on the mat. Connect again with that tripod of your foot. Inhale, reach forward and up. And then exhale, hinge into the hips, sit back. Bring the hands down. Step yourself back. Higher kneeling plank. Come all the way down. Get your back bend, pulling the hands back. And downward facing dog. We're going to step our right foot forward and drop our back knee. And come on up for the low lunge on this side. So again, pushing into the toes of the back foot, keeping your left glute super strong. Take your arms up and inhale. The right arm on an exhale. One more. Stay open, let your arms spread out to a T. And then press into the back toes, lift the knee off the floor, bring the hands in front of the heart. Lean the left elbow forward on top of the right thigh, keeping the belly siphoning up. Look
Looking down at the floor and then coming into your curtsy squat. So bending the back knee and bringing it behind the front knee. Keeping that connection of elbow to thigh. Find a point to fix your gaze on and then maybe lift your left leg. Bring it back down for curtsy squat. Stand on your right foot, left foot steps next to it. On an exhale, go to the other side, stepping the right knee behind, sitting back into both hips, right elbow on left thigh. Looking down, maybe lifting your right leg. Squeezing your right glute, bringing it back down, stepping up on your left foot. One more time. To the other side, we'll just come into the curtsy first. And then we're going to take it into half moves. So again, right hand can be on a block, it can be on fingertips. Left leg extends behind you. Don't get it too high to get your pelvis all wonky. Keep it in line with the hip point. And then feel left peace fingers pushing down into the big ball mound of the right foot. Feel that weight evenly distributing. All the wiggles and wobbles of your foot, getting stronger. And then reverse warrior. So inhale, come up through warrior two, get yourself settled. Back hand down, flip the front palm and reverse. Long through the right side, breathe in. And come through center, warrior variation. Sit bones hug together, left arm up and over the ear. Squeezing your left glute. Inhale up through center, reverse. And then windmill all the way back down. Three-legged down dog, right leg backing up. Bend the knee, open the hip out to the side. Keep the belly lifting. Right knee underneath you. Gate pose or modified side plank. Back heel down, left arm reaches up. You've got that right shoulder blade locking in place so you can put your weight into it and then maybe lift your left leg. Sit bones are hugging together. Left hand down, left toes down, right big toe and second toe around the heel. Do a little chugging forward and back. Keep the arms strong. Good, and then right knee down, back into your modified side plank. Left arm up, maybe left leg up. And then left toes down, left hand down, back into your three-legged down dog. Stepping all the way forward for warrior one. Left heel down, lift your arms up. Again, situate your pelvis. If you know your pelvis is neutral, then you know you're set up pretty optimally up and down the chain, so it's a good place to always keep returning back to check in with. Reach up, inhale, and then hands come down on either side of your front foot, spin onto your back toes, bend your back knee deeply, and lift your front foot. Both knees are bent. I haven't lost the connection of my belly to my thighs. Grab the block, shove it underneath your foot. Take your left peace fingers and pull the big toe over to the left to spread even more into the foot. Breathe. Good. Set the block off to the side. Now here's where we either shift our weight forward, hands come forward under the shoulders, spine stays long, and then back into your runner's stretch, rebending the knees, lifting the toes, or you can add the push off of those bottom toes. Trying not to get the top leg too involved, siphoning the thigh bone into the hip socket. Good. And then just left knee behind the right heel, sitting down as you twist to the right for that seated twist. And then again, left leg can be straight. You can be sitting on one or two blocks. And then final option is more of a Gomukhasana. The knees can come together, stacking on top. Left hand down, right arm reaches, bend into the bottom elbow and lean over. Pull the low belly back. Keep that left shoulder blade plugging down your back. Press into the bottom hand, inhale. Right hand down, left arm over your cheek. Lean into the bottom arm.
press the floor away, come back up. Unravel to the left. And then you can just make your way to your back. Starting by just taking the feet wide and letting the knees knock in. Close your eyes and just connect. You can take your arms loosely up around your head like in a goalpost or a diamond shape. And then just let one knee fall in, pressing into the inner edge of that foot, gripping the glute, and then the other. Do that another time or two. Good, and then figure four, take your left ankle on your right thigh. Take the hands behind the leg and just hug it in. Rock a little bit from side to side. Keeping the sacrum bone on the floor, so don't let that low back come up off the floor. And you can stay here if this is feeling nice, or you can cross your legs even more, so left leg on top of right, and then grab for your opposite feet. And then letting the knees come towards your chest, you might find some resistance of feet into hands. Taking exhales out your mouth. Good, and then unravel. Take your right ankle on your left thigh. Trying to energetically pull your thighs apart. So actively opening into that right hip, and then maybe lift the left foot. Maybe interlace behind the leg, using the elbow to press the thigh away. Breathing. Staying here if this feels good. Or maybe crossing right leg more over your left, reaching for opposite feet. Pulling hands down and feet lifting up. Breathing nice and big, exhaling out your mouth. Good. And then unravel. Bring your feet down. Take one leg out at a time. If you want to put any pillows, bolsters under your knees, put any layers on to get yourself really comfortable for Shavasana, do that now so you can be really relaxed and splayed out. Letting all the layers settle, the skin, the tissues, the muscles, bones, everything, just releasing. Let your throat muscles relax, your jaw and your tongue, and let even the muscles behind your eyes release. Let your body just take this in. breath get a little deeper. On your next exhale, open your mouth. Bring some movement back in. Wiggle fingers, toes, maybe stretch yourself long. And then you can roll over to one side, or you can lift yourself up, coming in to a comfortable seat. Hands pressed together in front of your heart. Take a moment just to connect to your own body, your own breath. Take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for letting me guide you through. I hope you feel a little more connected to your feet, to your core, to your spirit, so that you can move through your day with a little bit firmer of a foundation. Namaste. Thank you. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'm open to hearing any feedback, and I hope you have a great day.